I'm Will Johnston,
And I'm Erica Copenhaver.
and we represent the Microlife Institute, a Georgia based nonprofit organization dedicated to connecting communities by expanding housing choice.
Hi, I'm Lubin Raichev.
And I'm Michaela Master.
And we are with Georgia Conservancy, a nonprofit organization that aims to protect Georgia through ecological and economic solutions for stewardship, conservation, and sustainable use of the land and its resources.
And we'll be presenting at the Toombs County Housing Forum on October 25th. But before then, this video is to help you understand a little bit more about the forum and what it will cover before the conversation. As you may know, America is experiencing a national housing crisis. This is caused by a combination of many factors, most notably the shortage of our housing stock. On top of that, housing prices have continued to rise and have become increasingly unaffordable across both rental and homeownership options. The Greater Vidalia Chamber of Commerce, Toombs County Development Authority, cities of Vidalia and Lyons, and Toombs County engaged Georgia Conservancy and the Microlife Institute to conduct a housing assessment for Toombs County. The ultimate goal in conducting this study is to understand the current status and challenges faced by the county and provide a viable roadmap toward potential solutions that can help to alleviate the housing crisis and help strengthen the community. We developed a plan to compare current housing stock versus current and anticipated housing needs as the county grows, and to provide recommendations for policy changes and development opportunities to create more abundant housing options. We aim to provide empirical evidence to support housing needs of the county and provide education and support for policymakers, developers, local leaders, and community members to better understand why changes need to be made and what impact those changes will have.
During this study, we reviewed the existing and proposed zoning laws in Lyons and Vidalia to assess the impact on current development and how the laws may be incentivizing or hindering the development of abundant housing in Toombs. We compared the goals and vision of the comprehensive plans of the cities and county with the zoning laws to determine whether the laws are setting the cities up for success to achieve their long-term plans. We worked with local volunteers to survey and document the housing stock in select parts of Lyons and Vidalia, including taking note of particular characteristics of the housing, such as size, style, typology, building materials, and general condition. We synthesized data from public and local sources on demographics, housing stock, housing price, zoning, and other factors, using it to analyze the housing landscape and identify housing opportunities. We also interviewed local community and industry leaders to gather feedback on the specific challenges that are being faced regarding the housing crisis in the county. We distributed a public poll and received nearly 400 responses from community members. The poll included questions about general familiarity with various housing types, current experience with housing in Toombs County regarding availability, affordability, distance to amenities, and more. We received responses across a wide variety of professions and asked about what particular changes community members would like to see in Toombs County. Here are some of our findings from the survey that we will discuss in more detail during the Housing Forum on October 25th.
Over 70% of respondents were aware that Toombs County is facing an affordable housing crisis.
96% of respondents reported wanting to see more housing in Toombs County of one or more of the following housing types: accessory dwelling units, apartments, condominiums, cottage courts, courtyard apartments, duplexes, live-work housing, retirement housing, single-family housing, tiny houses, townhomes, and tri-, quad, or multiplexes.
Of that 96%, only 13% of respondents want to exclusively see more single-family housing in Toombs County, while 87% of respondents want to see housing types other than single-family homes.
When asked whether Toombs County is affordable in general, 49% of respondents reported no, while 18% reported unsure. Less than 1 in 3 respondents, 32%, reported yes.
Furthermore, Almost 1 in 3 respondents, 27%, estimate spending more than 30% of their income on their rent or mortgage.
Only 14% of respondents reported being satisfied with the available amenities in Toombs County, for instance, restaurants, entertainment, parks, bike paths, and more, while 39% were somewhat satisfied and 47% were not satisfied.
Now, Georgia Conservancy will give us a better understanding of the current status of housing in Toombs County.
As of 2021, there were approximately 12,000 housing units in Toombs County. The county's housing development peaked in the 1970s and 1980s. Development slowed in the decades following, with the lowest activity in the county occurring after the recession in the 2010s. This boom and bust cycle mirrors that of the state and the county, though Toombs County's patterns of growth occurred a few decades earlier than the state's. For example, the median year of construction for housing in Toombs is 1981. In contrast, the state's median year build is 1990. During the early 2000s, a surge of new development in the unincorporated parts of the county near the cities was built. As mentioned, this was followed by a steep decline in construction activity across the board following the recession.
Countywide, single-family homes make up the largest share of housing in Toombs County, at 60% of the entire housing stock. More dense housing types, both missing middle and denser multifamily housing options, have a greater proportion of housing stock in both Lyons and Vidalia than in the county. In Toombs County as a whole, there is a modest amount of missing middle housing, with around 10% of the total housing stock falling into this category. However, about 1/5 of the housing in both Vidalia and Lyons is missing middle, a housing category that includes everything from 2-unit structures to small apartments. Denser multifamily is less common in the county, with the highest concentration found in Vidalia. The concentration of denser housing typologies in the city cores aligns with availability of utility services, such as public water and sewer, as well as concentration of amenities. Notably, 25% of Toombs' housing stock consists of manufactured homes, which are considered a key type of naturally occurring affordable housing. More than 80% of the housing in the county is either single-family or mobile homes.
The vast majority of households in Toombs County are either 1 or 2-person households. Despite this fact, the majority of homes in the county are 3-bedroom units. This is called the housing mismatch, which is the difference between what households want or need from their housing and what is available to rent or own. This means that there are fewer right-sized homes available for the many households who need something different, perhaps smaller, than a large single-family house. In most recent years, new housing has tended to be larger, with 4-bedroom units being the only category for bedroom size that experienced growth between 2018 and 2021. There is a need to build more houses that match the predominant smaller household size.
Local sales figures indicate that home prices in Toombs County have seen a dramatic increase over recent years. From 2019 to 2022, the median home sales price in the county has increased by more than 46%. This means that a home that cost $200,000 in 2019 may have sold closer to $300,000 in 2022. The price increases we've seen during the pandemic years, which occurred in many places throughout the country, have put home ownership farther out of reach for first-time buyers. Housing price and stock aren't the only factors affecting the housing supply. Let's look at some of the other challenges Toombs County faces in building new housing types.
Existing zoning laws are preventing the development of diverse and missing middle housing types that are needed to create housing choice and abundant housing options for all. Particularly, limitations on housing density make it difficult to build enough housing to meet the deficit in the housing stock. As previously mentioned, missing middle housing describes housing types that cover the spectrum between single-family housing and large multifamily apartments. This includes housing types such as duplexes, townhomes, cottage courts, accessory dwelling units, mixed-use commercial and residential live-work options, and other types that were previously abundant in the United States and have been outlawed by most zoning throughout the nation.
There's a common misconception that adding housing to communities may alter the character of the community. It is important here to note the results of the public survey, and particularly the widespread desire for more diverse housing options for community members. Adding housing and thoughtful density to areas such as city centers and downtowns can support both the local economy as well as the general well-being of the community. It can provide housing to support the workforce that will staff amenities in downtown areas, such as restaurants and local retail, create walkability and bikeability that many survey respondents value, and foster an even stronger sense of community by creating opportunities for community building, as simple as meeting your neighbors.
Creating widespread understanding about diverse housing options and the ability to create them in Toombs County will help incentivize development. Potential incentives to bring more housing development include creating zoning laws that allow for increased density and reduced parking requirements, expediting permitting, modifying architectural requirements, and waiving or reducing fees.
Thank you for watching this video. As a recap, Toombs County is facing a housing crisis that requires urgent attention. In partnership with the Greater Vidalia Chamber of Commerce, Toombs County Development Authority, cities of Vidalia and Lyons, and Toombs County, Georgia Conservancy and Microlife Institute have gathered data on the current housing situation and feedback from community members and local industry leaders. Georgia Conservancy and Microlife Institute have put together recommendations for how Toombs County can use its space and resources to add housing choices and revitalize its downtown areas. Through policy revision, thoughtful development, and community engagement and education, Toombs County can become even stronger and more connected as a community.
We hope this video helped you understand the basics of what we will be covering in more detail at the forum. Please join us to continue this conversation on Wednesday, October 25th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the Tatnall Auditorium at Southeastern Technical College.
Please register for free at the link provided.
Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you there.